Hello, welcome to the Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth On-Campus Programs webinar. Thank you so much for taking time to learn about CTY. My name is Christy Baldwin, and I am the recruitment coordinator for CTY. I am guessing you're here today because you've noticed something unique about your child's learning abilities. Maybe your child is a voracious reader or has a big vocabulary and is a great communicator. Or maybe they love numbers and puzzles. And maybe they've even scored off the charts on a standardized test. Lastly, perhaps a teacher or another adult has said something to you about your child's advanced abilities. You're probably here also because you want to learn more about your child and how you can help them reach their full potential. And some of you may be here because your child is struggling. Well, I'm proud to let you know that here at Johns Hopkins Center for Talented Youth, we know bright kids. We've worked with tens of thousands of students across the world. And while we know that no two advanced learners are the same, we do know that they share some common characteristics. Students who are advanced, they really want voracious, rigorous, fresh, fun coursework. They need acceleration and enrichment. They want to be connected to other students who have the same abilities, who have the same interests, who they can learn from and be challenged by. They also want social connections with other kids who learn like them. They want a place to belong. And we are proud to provide an atmosphere and environment in which students can get these needs met. At CTY, we help bright kids thrive, and we give them the tools, the learning experiences, the social connections, and confidence to be themselves, set high goals, and work toward accomplishing them. So what exactly is CTY? We are a nonprofit center for research and innovation based at Johns Hopkins University, which is America's first research university in Baltimore, Maryland. We are continually advancing the field of gifted education through peer-reviewed, published research into how advanced students can learn and what they need to thrive. As a part of JHU, we have access to a community of world-class experts in fields like engineering, medicine, bioethics, public health, and arts and sciences that we can draw on when staffing our programs, obtaining grant funding, and also taking data-driven approaches to talent identification. We want to make sure that we connect with Johns Hopkins University to meet the needs of students as they matriculate, and that we're giving them the latest and greatest data to thrive in. So we're here today to focus on CTY and our on-campus summer programs. So I want to make sure that I give you a high-level understanding of what OCP is and how your student can connect and be a part of that experience. So our on-campus programs are during the summer only. The key features of the program is that it's a 3-week session. It's for grades 2nd through 12, so a wide range of students can participate. We have both residential and day sites where students can either stay on campus for the 3 weeks or they'll be dropped off and picked up each day by mom and dad through the 3 weeks. We have sites held throughout the entire U.S., well, not the entire U.S., but on the east and the west coast of the U.S. And we have eligibility where students can test and qualify to be a part of these programs. And we have some other options where students do not require test scores to be a part of the program. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the presentation. The benefits for students participating in our on-campus programs is that we have small class sizes. The curriculum that we are providing is advanced, so students are learning 2 or 3, even sometimes 4 and 5 grade levels above their current grade level. They're getting a novel hands-on approach, so they're getting practical experience in certain areas. They are not going to be in a traditional classroom setting where it's teacher-led. It really is an experience where the students, while the teacher is instructing them, they are able to ask questions and even lead discussions and projects to expand how they advance in that particular content area. Our instructors are experts in the fields in which they are teaching. And so the students are not just getting taught from the book. They are actually learning from experts in the field of the particular content area that they are learning from. And they're learning mastery of skills and concepts. And I can't oversell the social connections that the students receive. Being connected with other students who are like them and being challenged by them really allows for students to build relationships and friendships that last a lifetime. So, what is coming new in summer of 2025? This is an idea, tentative idea of what our session 1 and session 2 will look like as far as the dates are concerned. We have 2 sessions that are 3 weeks long that students are able to participate in. And in November is when we will have our November, December, we will have our program catalog available for you to review the different courses that we'll be offering, in addition to where we're going to be located throughout the US, the different sites where we're going to be located. We in our catalog, you're going to see some new additions. If you're not new to CTY, you've maybe seen some of our courses in the past. You're going to see some new additions that include the discovery sampler courses, where students will be able to explore 3 different topics in the 3-week session. So that's 1 topic per week. Typically, students are taking 1 topic throughout the entire 3 weeks, but this discovery sampler allows for students to kind of get their feet wet in different areas of different courses, rather, so that they can maybe next summer, when they can drill down on something that they really found interesting within those 3 courses. These are the courses that students are able to take without test scores. So if your child maybe hasn't tested, or maybe you're kind of shaky about having the child test, or maybe they tested and didn't quite make the score, they're able to take this discovery sample course to get an idea of what a CTY summer looks like and feels like, and perhaps retest so they can be connected to some of the other opportunities and programs that we have offered through our on-campus programs. So we do have day sites, like I mentioned, day sites / commuter sites, where students are dropped off and picked up every day from by mom and dad. These are specifically for our 2nd through 6th graders. You'll see here the dates of last calendar year, where we had our sites at Gilman School in Baltimore, also in Merman School in LA, and then we also had a session, or a site rather, at Spire School in New York. We may or may not be at these particular sites this year, but you can check back at our catalog in November, December to see exactly where we're going to be. But this just gives you an idea of where we were this past summer. To give you an idea of what the daily schedule looks like for our day sites, the morning classes kick off around 9 o'clock, and the students are in their classes from about 9 to 11:30. And the students are having fun learning together within those that 2.5-hour time period. And then we have the lunch that's served at each site, and then they head back into the classroom for some more class time. And the learning activities at that point really depend on the class, but it may be time spending working on special projects, engaging in lively discussions, doing lab work, maybe doing some writing workshops, anything like that, just depending on whatever course they are enrolled in. At 2:30, they get their activity time, where the students can choose from a list of different activities each day. It can be anything from a sport to arts and crafts to chess. The students are really have the opportunity to kind of choose whatever their interest is, and they can switch it up every day. So we have something for everybody. Some students may choose to enter and maybe do a project that is specific to their coursework, but we try to get them to do something that's kind of separate from the work or the assignments that they have been doing throughout the day. So this really gives them a brain break and an opportunity to get to know other students who are part of the summer program that summer. At 4 o'clock, the students head home, and please note that we do have before and after care available for an additional cost for parents who may need that. Some of the popular courses for our younger students are listed here. Again, this is not the full breadth of the courses that we offer for our younger students, but it gives you an idea. As you can see, we have various topics that the students can be a part of. And again, in November, December, you can see a complete list of what's available on our website at cty.jhu.edu. For our older students, so our residential sites where the students actually stay on campus for the 3 weeks are specifically for grades 5 through 12. Again, you can see a list of the sites where we were this past summer and an idea of the dates where we were when the dates were for each session 1 and 2. But you can see we were in Baltimore, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, LA, and New York. And we're definitely going to be at Johns Hopkins University again this coming summer in 2025. The other sites remain to be seen, but will be posted again in November, December. But this just gives you an idea where we were this past summer. And we'll likely be at many of these locations again. But just to give you an idea where your child may be participating, and then you can maybe even decide if you want your child to be on the East Coast or the West Coast, depending on where you live. So you'll see here the daily schedule for our residential sites is similar to our day sites, but because these students are going to be with us 24 hours a day for the 3 weeks, it's a bit different. So these students are staying on campus. So they're going to have breakfast at 7:30. Once they get themselves ready for the day, they will have breakfast at 7:30. And then they're going to go into their class, their specific classes. They'll be dispersed into their classes where they will be there from about 10 to 12. And at lunchtime, everyone will disperse, be directed back to the cafeteria for their lunch. And I have to say, and this goes for the day sites as well, many of the students rave about the food on our campus, about the breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you're doing the residential, because they really get a variety of options. So if your child has an allergy to something, or maybe for religious purposes, they don't eat certain things, we have different options. Maybe they're vegan, vegetarian, there's an option for everyone. So they have fun being able to choose what they can eat and switch things up each day. So it's exciting for them because they get to choose their foods each day. And it's pretty good. I've had it myself. It's pretty good. So after their lunch, the students head back into their class to work on projects again, workshops or class discussions during that time. And then in the afternoons, they get a long brain break, similar to the day sites, where they get supervised activity time that can be outdoors or indoors, just depending on the weather. A lot of the opportunities are similar to the day sites, but these students actually, since they're staying on campus, we've even had students bring their instruments that they play, and they create bands. They have rehearsal times just to keep themselves, making sure they're in tip-top shape. So when they go back home, they haven't lost their skill sets. So students really are creative and, making this time away from home their own, but still connecting to home as well. So we have students bring their instruments. We have students bring different projects that they're able to, kind of share that's kind of similar to what they're learning at CTY with other students as well. And so it's just a great opportunity for them to connect socially again. After they do have an evening class for the residential programs. And after the evening class, they have their social time, great time to hang out with their newfound friends, have hall meetings, discuss maybe some things that are upcoming for the next day or maybe even the upcoming weekend. And speaking of the weekends, they have loads of fun on Friday nights and Saturdays. So they have supervised dances, talent shows, movie nights, carnivals, you name it. They just have a blast. And the residential assistants plan different activities and games for the students as well for them to be involved in. And those who don't want to do a dance or whatever, there are options for them as well. So plenty of options, is including religious services. If your child wants to participate in them, we find a way for them to do that as well. Lights out is typically around 9:30 or so for our younger students and 10:30 for our older students. Here's a look at some of the options for courses for our older students. And again, a wide range of opportunities for students to participate in. Full list will be available on our website when the catalog opens later this fall. So when our students are away from home, we found that it's the parents more so than the students who are nervous and, about them being away. But we want to make sure that not only the child feels safe, but the parents have security and peace of mind when their child is away from them. And so I want to give you an idea of exactly how, or who I should say, will be responsible for your child's safety and academic advancement during those 3 weeks. So we have two levels of staff. We have a residential staff, and we also have the academic staff at each site. So while your child is busy, learning and having fun and making friends, you can rest assured that they're in good hands. Each class is led by both an instructor and a teaching assistant who are trained at teaching advanced learners. And every summer site is staffed with a number of administrators, program assistants, academic counselors, a site nurse, and health assistant. And they're all there to make sure that your child is safe and getting what he or she may need. At all sites, students are supervised while attending classes, eating their meals, and participating in social activities. Residential sites are also, they also include the RAs, and those RAs are responsible for escorting your child to every place on campus. So to their residential halls, from the residential halls to the cafeteria, to the different activities, to their classrooms. So all of that, they're always going to be in earshot and eye view of a CTY staff member. Rest assured that all of our staff have undergone background checks and a rigorous interview and training process. To give you an idea of what the price range is for our 3-week day program to our 3-week residential program, this is what it was for this past summer. About $3,000 for the day site, up to about $6,800 for the residential programs. This price for the residential programs includes room and board. It does not include any travel. There is financial aid that will be available. Please note that it's important that if this is something that you want your child to pursue and you're interested in applying for financial aid, it is not based on your child's skill level or how advanced they are, because all of our students are advanced. But we look at your income and other factors when making a decision on financial aid. And the financial aid can range from 100% down to 20 or 30%. It just depends on the financial situation of each family and how many students are applying at the time as well. So a lot of factors we will look at for financial aid. The financial aid application is connected to the program application. So when you are applying for your child's course, there's a financial aid section that you can click, which will pop up the financial aid application for you to submit all of the information and documents that are necessary for a decision to be made. Now that you know all about the on-campus programs, I want to share with you about testing and eligibility, how your child can be connected to the CTY program. So testing and eligibility has great benefits for families. While we do have the Discovery Sampler courses where students do not have to have eligible testing scores, those are the only courses, the Discovery Sampler courses are the only courses that students can participate in if they do not have testing and eligibility scores. So you want to be able to apply, or I should say, be eligible for the full breadth of CTY courses. So testing and eligibility is going to be key to have access to those. So when your child qualifies for CTY courses, it gives you the opportunity to understand your child's true academic potential. It allows for us to assess the right level of academic challenge for them, and again, be eligible for most of our courses that we make available in our catalog. So we have several options for testing for your child to participate. As you see the list of tests here, which test your child takes really doesn't matter. Which test you choose for your child is based on a couple of factors. What grade they're in at the time that you are applying or testing, I should say, and what your comfort or what you want to get from the test. If you are simply looking for CTY eligibility, then the SCAT, whether it's the online SCAT or the regular SCAT, will be a perfectly fine test for your child to take. Also, the STB, the spatial test battery, those three tests or two tests are specifically just for CTY eligibility. The remaining tests, the PSAT, SAT, and ACT, are third-party tests that will allow for you as the parent to learn more, not just whether or not your child is qualified for CTY, but also how they stack up or measure up to other students who are much older who have taken the same test. So it gives you a little bit more information about your child's abilities. But ultimately, all of these tests will allow for your child to qualify for CTY. The first test that's listed here as the SCAT, the regular SCAT, can be taken at a Prometric testing center. It can be taken at any time. It's very flexible. Your child will go in, take the test. It's about 40 minutes long and 40 to 50 minutes long, just depending on a few factors. And it's 50 questions in each section of the test. There's a math and a verbal section. You would get your test results within 48 hours if your child goes to a Prometric testing site. The online SCAT is identical to the one you take at Prometric, except it can be taken from home. So much more flexible and convenient for parents. Most of our parents do have their child take the online SCAT. The only difference between the online SCAT is that this one is directly 40 minutes, 50 questions per section, both math and verbal, and you get your test results anywhere within 10 business days. The PSAT, SAT, and ACT, all three of those are third-party tests, which means you would have to schedule your child to take that test through College Board or ACT. And you see the specific grade levels for those tests. And you would get those results back whenever ACT or College Board has those results. And that can be anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, just depending on when your child takes the test. And there are very limited options for when you can take those throughout the year. So it's not as flexible as the online SCAT or the regular SCAT. The STB is a test that, let me back up. The PSAT, SAT, and ACT have a math and verbal section to the test. The STB is a test that can only be taken at Prometric, and it only has math content questions. It's a spatial test battery. It's a spatial recognition test. So students who are good at recognizing objects that are pulled apart and can put them together by points and are good at maybe Rubik's Cubes or sometimes video games, have an engineering or architectural brain or mindset, they typically do well on this exam, but there's only a math component to that. Your child, with the exception of the STB, the other test that I just mentioned, your child can qualify in either or both the math and verbal section of the test, which allows for them to have access to different courses within CTY eligibility. The STB, since it only has a math component, will only allow for your child to qualify for math, science, or computer technology courses within CTY. Last but not least, we have the existing test scores option for your child. Now, these are for students 2nd through 12th grade, and these are tests specifically that have been taken at your child's school. So standardized tests. For example, the STB, I'm sorry, not the STB, the STARS test, MAP test, ERB, COGAT are some examples of tests that we will accept for automatic eligibility for CTY courses. There are about 40 plus tests that we will accept for automatic eligibility for CTY courses. The caveat is that your child must score at the 98th percentile or higher in order to qualify for CTY courses, and that test must have been taken within the past 3 years. So that is the way for your child to bypass the test that I just mentioned prior to this slide and have automatic eligibility. Your child can qualify in either or both the math and verbal component in the standardized or the existing test scores. And yes, parents, you can use a combination of the SCAT test and let's say STARS exam to make your child dual amplify or eligible, I should say. So your child can have eligible math scores on the online SCAT and then get maybe they have a 99th percentile on the STARS exam from their school, and your child can be qualified for CTY in both areas. For the existing test scores, as well as the other tests that I mentioned in the previous slide, once your child qualifies for CTY, they qualify through the 12th grade, So there's no need for them to retest. Important to note that. So how do you get started? I'm hoping that you've learned something in this webinar that motivates you to take the next step. So the very first thing you want to do is complete a Join CTY application. After you've done that, you're going to have your child register for one of the tests that I mentioned, or submit an existing test score that meets the eligibility requirements of 98th percentile or higher. Once that's either the test scores have come back and your child is eligible, or you have submitted those tests, that score report for that eligible test score, your child, once they get confirmation of eligibility, will then be able to enroll in a CTY course, online program CTY course. And we're hoping that is the case for each one of your children, each child who is enrolling in CTY listening to this webinar today. And it's a great opportunity for your child to advance and grow and meet other students just like them. CTY is not just for the students, it's for families as well. So we want to make sure that we have resources that are available to our parents. We have a blog that we offer for our parents to be a part of and learn from, to gain resources about being the parent of a gifted learner that comes with challenges. And so we want to make sure that we're providing with resources. We also have a very robust and active Facebook group on our parents Facebook group, where parents share information, share resources, ask questions about CTY, and advance curriculum in their areas that you can most certainly learn from. And then we also have our events that you can register for on YouTube. We have many recordings that you can listen to learn more about CTY, hear from staff members, alumni, learn about a specific, maybe a specific course, more about that. You can learn a lot about CTY from our YouTube page as well, and just get updated on some upcoming events to be a part of and learn more about CTY. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to learn about CTY. Again, I hope that you've learned something through this webinar that inspires and motivates you to take the next step and have your child a part of CTY. Stay in touch with us, go to our website, find us on social media to learn more, and we look forward to having your child part of CTY. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.